Okay, good afternoon. Yesterday, yesterday we have seen introduction to Bill Gear, then classification of Bill Gears and terminology used in the Bill Gear. Now today we will see virtual number of teeth. Therefore, as shown in the figure, an imaginary spur gear is considered in a plane perpendicular to the tooth at the large end. RB is the pitch circle radius of this imaginary spur gear and Z dash is the number of teeth on this gear. The gear is called the formative gear and the number of teeth Z dash on this gear is called the virtual or the formative number of teeth. Now, yesterday we have seen this A naught is nothing but cone distance, HA is nothing but addendum, HF is nothing but dedendum, RB is nothing but radius, pitch circle radius of an imaginary spur gear. Then capital D is the pitch circle diameter at the back end. Then gamma is nothing but pitch angle. Small b is nothing but face width. HF is nothing but dedendum. Therefore, the formative number of teeth Z dash is given by Z dash is equal to 2RB upon M, where M is equal to module at the large end of the tooth and Z is the actual number of teeth on bevel gear. Therefore, Z is equal to D divided by M. Therefore, dividing these two equations, therefore Z dash divided by Z is equal to 2RB upon D. Therefore, from triangle ABC, sine of angle BCA is equal to AB divided by AC. Therefore, sine of angle BCA is equal to 90 minus gamma. Therefore, sine of 90 minus gamma is equal to AB. It is nothing but D capital D divided by 2. And AC means RB. Therefore, sine of 90 minus gamma is equal to D divided by 2 RB. Therefore, RB is equal to D divided by 2 cos gamma. Therefore, Z dash is equal to Z upon cos gamma. Therefore, this is nothing but virtual number of teeth or formative number of teeth. Therefore, a pair of bevel gear is shown in figure. DP and DG are the pitch circle diameters of pinion and gear respectively. Gamma is the pitch angle of the pinion file. That R is the pitch angle of the gear. Line AB is perpendicular to the line OB. Consider triangle OAB. OAB. Tan of gamma is equal to d- tan of gamma AB divided by OB. AB means DP divided by 2 and OB means DG divided by 2. Therefore, tan of gamma is equal to DP divided by 2 divided by DG divided by 2. I think you should write down this. Okay, let it be. Then, please, 1 minute. Okay, this angle is known as small gamma. This angle is known as capital gamma. Therefore, tan of small gamma is equal to dp divided by 2 divided by dg divided by 2. Therefore, tan of gamma is equal to dp divided by dg. Therefore, tan of gamma is equal to mzp divided by mzc. Therefore, tan of gamma is equal to zp divided by zg. Similarly, tan of capital gamma is equal to zg divided by zp. Also, small gamma plus capital gamma is equal to 90 degree. From the diagram, you are observing small gamma plus capital gamma is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, the cone distance A naught is given by A naught is equal to square root of dp divided by 2 square plus dg divided by 2 bracket square. Therefore, this is A naught is nothing but cone distance. Now, we will see force analysis. In force analysis, it is assumed that the resultant tooth force between two meshing teeth of a pair of bevel gears is concentrated at the midpoint along the face width of the tooth. This is illustrated in figure where the resultant force capital P shown by the dotted line acts at the midpoint capital D of the face width of the pinion. The resultant force has following three components. Therefore, this is nothing but face width, midpoint of the face width, capital D. This capital P dotted line, it indicates resultant force. Now there are many forces acting. Pt is equal to tangential or useful component in Newton. Pr is nothing but radial component in Newton, and Pa is equal to axial or thrust component in Newton. Now this CD, line CD indicates Pt, line FD indicates PR, line ED indicates PA, means it is what axial force, and this line AD indicates PS or separating force. Therefore, now we have taken A, B, C, D, this rectangle outside from that figure. Therefore, consider the plane A, B, C, D. See that this is A, B, C, D. Means how many forces, which forces are there? PS is there, PT is there, capital P is there, and this alpha angle is there. Yes. Therefore, from the triangle BCD or BDC, tan of alpha is equal to BC divided by CD. Therefore, BC is the but separating force PS because BC is equal to AD. Therefore, tan of alpha is equal to PS divided by PT, equation 1, where PS is equal to separating force in Newton, alpha is equal to pressure angle in degrees. Therefore, PS is equal to PT tan alpha, equation 2. As the separating force PS is perpendicular to the pitch line OD, therefore AD is perpendicular to OD. Line FD is vertical while the line OX is horizontal. Therefore, FD is perpendicular to OX. There are two pairs of perpendicular lines and their included angle should be equal. The angle between lines OD and OX should be equal to the angle between the lines AD and FD. The angle between lines OD and OX is the pitch angle gamma. Therefore, the angle between lines FD and AD or AD and FD should be equal to the pitch angle gamma. Therefore, again we have taken the rectangle outside, that is AEDF or AFDE. Again, we will go back to that figure. AFDE. Now, which forces are there? Radial force is there, axial force is there, then separating force is there, PS. Hmm. Therefore, same radial force indicated by FD, which is equal to AE. Axial force is indicated by ED, which is equal to AF, and PS is nothing but separating force. Angle between PS and PR is gamma. Therefore, consider the plane DEAF. Therefore, from triangle ADF, cos gamma is equal to what? FD divided by AD, which is equal to what? PR divided by PS. Therefore, PR is equal to PS cos gamma. Similarly, sin gamma. Sin gamma is equal to AF divided by AD. AF means PA divided by PS. Therefore, PA is equal to PS sin gamma. Therefore, substituting equation 2 in the above expressions. Therefore, we are getting PR is equal to PT tan alpha into cos gamma, equation 3. Axial force PA is equal to PT tan alpha into sin gamma, equation 4. The tangential component is determined from the following relationship. PT is equal to mt upon Rm, where mt is equal to torque transmitted by gears in Newton mm. Rm is nothing but radius of the pinion at midpoint along the face width in mm, where Rm is given by dp divided by 2 minus b sin gamma divided by 2. This is the formula of mean radius, Rm. Therefore, equations 3, 4 and 5 are used to determine the components of the tooth force on the pinion. The components of the tooth force acting on the gear can be determined by considering actions and reactions as equal and opposite. Therefore, as seen in figure C, the radial component on the gear is equal to the axial component on the pinion. Similarly, the axial component on the gear is equal to the radial component on the pinion. Therefore, whatever this radial component on gear, PR on gear is equal to axial component on the pinion, and axial component on the gear is equal to radial component on the pinion. Therefore, while solving problem, we have to draw this diagram. We have to solve the problem. Now, please write down the problem. We will solve this problem, draw the figure. I will wait for 5 minutes. A pair of bevel gears transmitting 7.5 kilowatt at 300 rpm is shown in figure. The pressure angle is 20 degree. Determine the components of the resultant gear tooth force and draw a free body diagram of forces acting on the pinion and the gear. Therefore, draw this diagram and write down the problem. I will wait for up to 5 minutes. Example 1. A pair of bevel gears transmitting 7.5 kilowatt at 300 rpm is shown in figure. The pressure angle is 20 degree. Determine the components of the resultant gear to force and draw a free body diagram of forces acting on the pinion and the gear. Draw the diagram. I think you have written the problem and drawn the diagram. Phase width of the pinion is 40, then pitch circle diameter of the pinion is 150 mm, pitch circle diameter of the gear is nothing but 200 mm. Now input power is provided to pinion shaft, that is 7.5 kilowatt, and pinion rotates at 300 rpm. Therefore, this much data is given in the problem. Pressure angle is 20 degree. Therefore, we will solve the problem now. Okay, first of all, we will write down given data, solution, solution given, power they are provided, kilowatt is equal to 7.5, NP, that is speed of the pinion, 300 rpm, then alpha pressure angle is equal to 20 degree, then pitch circle diameter of pinion 150 mm, pitch circle diameter of gear 200 mm, and face width B is equal to 40 mm. Therefore, we will solve the problem. First, we will determine the components of tooth force. Therefore, step one, components. Solution. This given data they have provided: kilowatt 7.5, speed of pinion 300 rpm, pressure angle 20 degree, pitch circle diameter of pinion 150 mm, pitch circle diameter of gear 200 mm, phase width B is equal to 40 mm. Now we have to find out components of gear to floor. Therefore, step one, components of gear tooth force. Therefore, from the power transmission, we will calculate torque transmitted. Therefore, kilowatt is equal to, we are knowing the formula, 2 pi NPMT divided by 60 into 10 raised to 6. Therefore, substitute the values. 7.5 is equal to 2 pi into 300 into MT divided by 60 into 10 raised to 6. Therefore, MT is equal to, we are getting value it as 238732.41 mm. Sorry, Newton mm. Torque we are getting it as Newton mm. Now we will find out tan gamma. Therefore, tan of gamma is equal to ZP upon ZG, which is equal to dP upon dG. Therefore, which is equal to what? 150 upon 200. Therefore, tan of gamma is equal to 0.75. Therefore, gamma is equal to, we are getting it as 36.87 degree. Now, we will calculate mean radius Rm. Therefore, mean radius Rm is given by the formula dP divided by 2. minus B sine gamma divided by 2. Therefore, substitute the values. 150 divided by 2 minus 40 into sine of 36.87 divided by 2. Therefore, mean radius Rm is equal to, we are getting it as 63 mm. Now, we will calculate tangential force, radial force, and axial force. Therefore, tangential force Pt is equal to mt upon Rm, which is equal to 238,732.41 divided by 63. Therefore, Pt tangential force we are getting it as 3789.40 Newton. Now next, that is radial force. Radial force PR is equal to Pt tan of alpha into cos of gamma. Therefore, substitute the values. 3789.40 into tan of 20 degree into cos of 36.87. Therefore, radial force PR we are getting it as 1103.38 Newton. Similarly, axial force PA is given by the equation Pt tan of alpha into sine of gamma. Therefore, substitute the values. 3789.40 into tan of 20 degree into sine of 36.87. Therefore, PA is equal to 827.54 Newton. Therefore, this is the problem of force analysis on the bevel gear. That is how to find out tangential force, radial force, and axial force. Now, this is the diagram. This axial force on the gear is equal to radial force on the pinion. Therefore, first of all, draw the diagram of gear, then show the forces. This radial force on the gear, whatever this force is there, you have to show it, and this tangential force you have to show. It is perpendicular to the plane of the paper. That's why it is shown as a dot only. Tangential force, it is shown as a dot. This is the axial force, 827.54. 1103.38, it is nothing but radial force. Therefore, this is nothing but free body diagram of the different forces acting on the bevel gear, that is bevel pinion and bevel gear. I think you have written this. Please write down. I will wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Please write. Okay, next now beam strength of bevel gears. We will take beam strength, then we will stop. Beam strength of bevel gears. The size of the cross section of the tooth of a bevel gear varies along the face width as shown in the figure. You will see the size varies along the face width. In order to determine the beam strength of the tooth of a bevel gear, it is considered to be equivalent to a formative spur gear in a plane perpendicular to the tooth element. Now we have to consider a formative spur gear in a plane perpendicular to the tooth element. First of all, what we will do, we will take a small cross section dx at a distance x from the point O. Now this B is nothing but face width. Rx is nothing but pitch circle radius at a distance x. Capital R is nothing but pitch circle radius. A naught is nothing but cone distance. SB is nothing but beam strength. Therefore, consider an elemental section of the tooth at a distance x from the apex O and having a width dx. Applying the Levy's equation to a formative spur gear at a distance x from the apex, therefore delta SB is equal to, we are knowing that beam strength equation for spur gear is SB is equal to MB sigma B into Y. Therefore, we have to write down for the small element dx. For the small element dx, beam strength delta SB is equal to mx into bx into sigma B into y, equation 1, where delta SB is equal to beam strength of the elemental section in Newton, mx is equal to module of the section in mm, bx is equal to face width of the elemental section in mm, y is equal to Levy's form factor based on virtual number of teeth. Therefore, from figure, if you will see from figure, Rx upon R is equal to X divided by A naught. Means we have considered these two ratios, that is Rx upon R. Means we have considered these two right angle triangle. This is the first right angle triangle and this is the second right angle triangle. Therefore, Rx is equal to X into R divided by A naught, equation 2. Therefore, at the elemental section, Mx is equal to 2Rx upon Z, which is equal to, substitute the value of Rx, therefore 2 into X into R divided by Z into A naught, equation 3. At the large end of the tooth, M is equal to 2R, 2 into capital R divided by Z, equation 4. Therefore, from equations 3 and 4, Mx is equal to, or we have to divide equation 3 by 4. Then we are getting it as Mx is equal to M into bracket X divided by A naught, equation 5. Also, Bx is equal to Dx, equation 6. Therefore, substituting equation 5 and 6 in equation 1, we are getting it as delta SB is equal to M into sigma B into Yx dx divided by A naught, equation 7. Therefore, from equation 2 and equation 7, means what we have to do, Rx we have to multiply equation 2 and 7 and then we have to integrate it. Therefore, integration of Rx into delta SB is equal to m sigma b into y into r divided by a naught square into integration of x square dx. Equation 8. The left hand side indicates the torque mt, that is this delta SB is nothing but tangential force. Beam strength, you are knowing beam strength, it is nothing but tangential force. Tangential force into distance is equal to torque. This is the basic equation. Therefore, mt is equal to m sigma b y into r divided by a naught square. Therefore, integration from a naught minus b to a naught means a naught minus b means this much distance to a naught means we have to integrate along the phase width. That's why we have considered integration from a naught minus b to a naught. Therefore, x square dx. Therefore, m sigma b y into r divided by a naught square. Integration of x square is equal to x cube divided by 3. It varies from a naught minus b to a naught. Therefore, mt is equal to mb sigma b y into r into bracket 1 minus b divided by a naught plus b square divided by 3 a naught square. Equation 9. We have substituted these values and afterwards we have got this equation. Therefore, assuming beam strength SB as the tangential force at the large end of the tooth, therefore SB MT is equal to SB into R, equation 10. Therefore, from equations 9 and 10, SB is equal to MB sigma B into Y, because this RR will get cancelled. This capital R, this capital R will get cancelled, so that SB is equal to MB sigma B into Y into bracket 1 minus b divided by a naught plus b square divided by 3 a naught square, bracket complete. The face width of the bevel gear is limited to one third of the cone distance. Therefore, the last term in the bracket will never be more than 1 divided by 27. Therefore, neglecting the last term, we are getting beam strength SB is equal to mb sigma b into y into bracket 1 minus b divided by a naught. Equation 11. Therefore, equation 11 is known as Lewis equation for bevel gears. Equation 11 is known as Lewis equation for bevel gears. Therefore, where SB is equal to beam strength of the tooth in Newton, M is equal to module at the large end of the tooth in mm, D is equal to face width in mm, sigma B, sorry here sigma B should be there, sigma B. Sigma B is equal to permissible bending stress, which is equal to SUT divided by 3 in Newton per mm square. Y is equal to Lewis form factor based on formative number of teeth, that is Z dash. A naught is equal to cone distance in mm, and the term into bracket 1 minus b divided by a naught is called the bevel factor. Therefore, in the above analysis, the beam strength SB is determined using the pitch radius capital R at the large end of the tooth. Therefore, SB is equal to MT divided by capital R. Therefore, the beam strength indicates the maximum value of the tangential force at the large end of the tooth that the tooth can transmit without bending failure. It is necessary to compare the beam strength with an imaginary force PT considered to be acting at the large end of the tooth. This component is given by PT is equal to 2MT divided by capital D. The beam strength should always be more than the effective force between the meshing teeth at the large end of the tooth. The face width of the bevel gear is generally taken as 10 times module or A naught divided by 3, whichever is smaller. That is, B is equal to 10M or B is equal to A naught divided by 3, whichever is smaller. You have to remember this because we have to take beams that's face width. Sometimes we have to use these two equations and whichever is minimum that you have to take it as space speed. Therefore, I think today we will stop here. Tomorrow we will see wear strength and effective load, and again we will see one problem. Thank you very much.